Hey everybody, let's do some tasting notes. I've been waiting to do this one for a little while. I've had it for a few weeks, but the reality is that time has kind of gotten away from me. So I want to talk about this one. I was really excited about this when it first launched a couple of years ago. I think the first release was really good. The second release probably wasn't as great, and now we're on to our third release. So what we're specifically talking about is the 2025 Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. And so the Cellar Aged on this is somewhere between 11 and 14 years old. And it feels like it's probably, or at least from what I've read, it's more heavily on the bottom end of the 11 than it is on the 14-year end. It's sitting at 112.9 proof. The price on this is $175. So if you're trying to stay in that $10 per year range, this is well outside of that. Now, this is also an LE for them. It is what it is. This is the price you pay. The way we do tasting on 3 different days with 3 different sets of glassware, with the intent to try to remove any environmental bias that might come into play. So let's talk about it a little bit. The first time through, the nose on this was very sticky sweet, like in all the ways that sweet can be sweet. There's syrup, there's fruit, there's sugar, there's all of these things kind of on the nose. And then as we move to the palate, that sugar kind of moved into a darker realm. Maybe it is burnt sugar, maybe it's a dark syrup. Got a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of dark chocolate, and then as it finished out, I got some bitterness light from coffee or dark chocolate and a little bit of icing. And when I say icing, I'm really talking about buttercream icing and not anything else. The second time through, the nose was still really sweet. It was a sticky sweet caramel apple. The palate was cinnamon fruit tart with some cocoa dust on top of it. And then the finish was like a sticky fruit tea and maybe some powdered sugar. Kind of going back to, what's the primary ingredient in icing is powdered sugar. And then the last time through, the sugars were really, really dark on the nose. Toffee, caramel, fudge, syrup, all of those things with a real, punch of bright citrus that kind of came into play. And then as we moved to the palate, got some really good tannins on it, a little bit of almond, a little bit of zest, a little bit of rickhouse, and then it finished out. It was a really nice, long, warming finish. Very bold, leather and dark chocolate and dried fruit. This is a really phenomenal drink. The concern is the price. Is it worth $175? Maybe not. It really depends on what your price threshold is. If you don't mind spending a couple $100s on a bottle, this is not a bad purchase. And if you're price conscious, maybe this is a thing you try out in a bar somewhere.